Dear guest, we have Ruchika Behal, who's a nutritionist, and she has a long list. You want to share with us?
I will. So I wear two different hats. I am trained in functional medicine, so that really allows me to be a health expert, understand the root cause of what's going on in your body. And my second hat is in coaching. So I'm a national board certified wellness coach, which allows me to really help people work through their own mindset. Sometimes we come in our own ways. We are the obstacle in our own wellness journey. So really combining the health expertise and the mindset behavior work, I'm able to help clients get to their health goals.
Awesome. And we have Sonal Kulkarni. Sonal is a boutique fitness owner.
Yeah.
And what else, Sonal?
Well, I'm a fitness enthusiast, always loved fitness, and decided to own my own boutique fitness studio, which I've been running for the last 4 years. Actually,
Yes.
this year is going to be like May 26th is our completion of 4 years.
4 years?
So I'm in 4
Awesome.
years.
Congratulations.
And yeah, so I love fitness, love to share my passion with my community, and that's pretty much what it is.
Awesome. Okay. And today is a very interesting topic. I have a quote. Menopause is not an age. It's a stage of wisdom and freedom, right? So I feel like menopause is such a scary word. So Ruchika, please explain to us, because there are like so many apparently we're learning. Today I learned there is pre-menopause. I've heard of perimenopause, and then there's also post-menopause.
That is so true. It is a scary time, and I think it gets crazy hard, especially the perimenopausal years with the sleepless nights for some, unexplained mood changes. That's the hardest one for a lot of women. One minute they are happy, and on the other few days they're just kind of feeling highly anxious or depressed, and they've never been such. They generally consider themselves happy people. Of course, the unexplained weight gain, all of those combined, the changes in brain cognitive function, sometimes associated with brain fog, forgetfulness, all of that is just crazy hard, and we don't talk enough about it. It's definitely not a walk in the park. It's not for the easy or the faint-hearted. And unfortunately, I'm really appreciative of you all bringing a topic like such to the greater community, because we don't talk about it. We don't have shared experiences, and women somehow think, and when I'm really speaking, women think that we have learned to navigate our hormones, aka our PMS symptoms, right? Typically, mostly through overfeeding chocolate.
Good one.
we just somehow figure that's just how it runs.
Yeah.
But the thing with the difference between PMS and perimenopausal symptoms is that PMS is fairly predictable. It's at a time of the month. It's short-lived.
Yeah.
Unlike perimenopausal symptoms, which is like this extended bad flu, the symptoms can come, the symptoms can go. It can last anywhere between 4 to 14 years.
Oh, what?
So just to kind of go back to your topic of what is premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. So premenopause is your healthy reproductive hormonal years where you are symptom-free.
Yeah.
Perimenopause is really, as I said, 4 to 14 years before the moment you hit menopause.
Oh.
And menopause is a moment in time. It is really a moment where you're either surgically had a hysterectomy, so you don't have any more cycles, or you've been without a cycle for 12 consecutive months. So it's that moment in time. It's a single moment. And postmenopause is the journey that follows through, right, of course. So perimenopause is really the time that most people struggle. Mm-hmm. They start finding themselves a different person that they weren't, especially if somebody's been super skinny all their lives, never could eat whatever, never had problems with weight, and now suddenly they find themselves gathering weight like never before.
Right.
Explain this.
Yes.
Obviously, our mindset goes back to maybe starving ourselves, over-exercising. The old techniques that worked in our 20s are no longer working. So women get frustrated.
Yes.
Of course, the changes in mental health, changes in sleep, all of that is fairly impactful. It does destroy the quality of life unless you're prepared for it.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully I answered your pre, menopause and postmenopause, right? So.
Yeah, but that sounds so scary, like 4 to 14 years before you hit it, and the age of hitting menopause can vary for each individual, right?
Mm-hmm. So right now I think it's sitting at somewhere 51 as the average.
Okay.
Of course, what happens is if I had my way, if I could coach everybody, I would push it as far as 55.
Yeah.
Just the reason is declining estrogen is just not a reproductive hormone, it's just not a sex hormone. It is also responsible for great skin, good cardiovascular health. It is protective of keeping women more healthier bones. Of course, keeps them more insulin sensitive. So it's not just for reproductive health, it's responsible for other things as well. So the longer you can have cycles, the longer you can not hit menopause, the
better.
the more protected you are. But of course, sometimes we don't control it because it's not what we do in the last 3-4 years. It's really the journey to that point. So literally starting in your 30s, how you're using birth control, hormones, maybe getting fillers, using synthetic hormones and other personal care products, plus the diet and the lifestyle all combined together is that's what really adds up. So it's really a combined hormones are like a symphony, it's not a single musical instrument playing. So you have to really bring it in balance, and there's no magic pill, unfortunately.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So what are the common signs and symptoms of perimenopause?
So I think the most common symptoms that people kind of think about are mood changes, hot flashes, of course changes in weight. Those are the common ones that most people think. But skin changes, increasing cholesterol levels, getting pre-diabetic, diabetic, these are all all hormonal changes as well. They are all connected to fluctuating levels of estrogen, progesterone, testosterone in the body.
Oh wow.
And unfortunately, what happens is a typical life cycle of a woman, right? We tend to have this what's called the rushing woman syndrome. We run on empty. We overextend ourselves. We fill our plate, not literally but figuratively, with so many different things. Taking care of the family, kids, extended family, overcommitting to work, all of that stuff. And our stress hormones are pretty depleted by the time we're ready to get into menopausal years. And as the sex hormones are declining, the stress hormones, the adrenal gland, is meant to take over the function of this now, retiring ovaries and uterus.
Okay.
But these adrenal glands have already worked double time, triple time.
Yeah, throughout. Yeah.
So they are not geared anymore to take on the extra load. And that's when the struggling becomes.
Oh.
So the part that we can't completely influence, as you said, it is an age and stage in life. You can't completely decline it. But I think nurturing your adrenal glands by dialing down your stress, having certain practices that allow you to have nourished adrenal glands will help you have a smoother sail through the process.
Yes. Wow. Are there any diet changes one can make to not struggle with these symptoms, or is it all downhill, doom, despair?
I definitely think we have more control over our bodies than we believe. So definitely eat for the person who you want to be, not who you were 20 years ago. I meet so many people and they say, I've always eaten like this. And I'm like, yeah, it served your body in your 20s and 30s. It's no longer going to serve you. It's true for everything. I'll just give an extreme example. A dress that may physically fit you right now and fit you 20 years ago may not look the same what it looked on you. So, there's that gradual acceptance that things have to change. You're no longer the 20-year-old, and why should you be? Be happy to embrace. It's a privilege, right, at the end of it. So definitely, I think making sure that you're getting sufficient protein, because, again, Sonal will agree with this, that women lack protein in their diet, and especially Desi women lack protein.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot. You're talking about the medical side of things, but in a simple layman's language, which people can follow or women can follow, whether it's perimenopausal, premenopausal, just a lifestyle, having a healthy lifestyle, and like exercise. A lot of people just target towards having, I want to just lose X and be like this. It's more beyond that. It's
Yeah.
about living a healthy life,
Right.
not just being X weight number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great that you are whatever you weigh, and that
Yeah.
makes you look good.
Yeah.
But to be healthy, it takes a lot more. Having
Yeah.
a healthy diet, protein intake, having right kind of nutrition,
Yes.
which most women lack. And like Ruchi just said, women wear a lot of hats,
Yeah.
and most of women always depleted because either they're not eating right or they're running around not eating the right time of the day as well. So having balanced, nutritious diet at regular intervals with some kind of fitness training, weight training, some cardio for their health, heart
Yeah.
health, weight. So everything is important.
Yeah.
Everything is crucial for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You can't just be doing just cardio
Yeah.
or just weight training
Yeah.
or just flexibility.
Right.
So everything is
Yeah.
crucial.
Yeah.
So some amount of cardio for your heart health. Weightlifting for your bones
Yeah.
and for your core health. And as you age, you actually want to do
More.
weight training even more
Yes.
to keep that bone
Bone
density,
density,
as you
yes.
said, and to
Yeah.
build muscle.
Yeah.
It's not just to look good.
Yeah.
It's required for your body because as you get older, you're prone to more injury.
Yeah.
If you have a better bone density, your body can recover faster.
And it's so funny because I think in our culture, it's like, I mean, people ask me, oh, you do some form of exercise. I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, you don't need it. I was like, I need it for my energy. Like, it's not, it has nothing to do my weight, you
Yeah.
know, but you need it for so many other
Correct.
reasons,
Yeah. So
right?
that's kind of like a myth.
Yeah, and
Totally.
mental sanity.
Mental
Yeah.
sanity, and even for mental health.
Yeah.
Like even if you do 20 minutes of cardio,
Yeah.
you're going to see a huge difference in your mental health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stress that you're
Right.
carrying around, life stresses.
Right.
You don't have to have certain specific stress to be exercising.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just the stress of life.
Right.
We don't even realize it how much our body is taking in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the environment and
Right.
that's thrown at us. This is a way to, it's a coping mechanism.
Yes, like you spoke
Absolutely. And just going back to her point on strength training and muscle building, muscle is metabolically active, which means that when we consume, so I want to bring this awareness, and I think if this was one takeaway that everybody took today, it would be this, that as you get into perimenopausal years, you become more insulin resistant, which means that you're more prone to being pre-diabetic, diabetic. Being pre-diabetic, diabetic eventually is a cardiovascular risk. And and other issues because of inflammation. So I'm not going to get into the depth of it, but estrogen allows for us to be healthy amounts of estrogen allows us to remain insulin sensitive.
Right.
That hormone is declining. Accept it. So change your lifestyle to be more insulin sensitive by including more protein,
Yeah.
by definitely including some strength training in your workout.
Right.
And this is how I like to describe what an ideal workout for everybody should look like. I'm not going to give you in minutes, but it should include stamina, which is through your cardiovascular, which impacts your cardiovascular health. It should use some sort of stability, balance exercise, because as we age, it is important whether you do core work, you do ankle mobility, knee work, you need to have some sort of stability routine
Yeah.
built in.
Yeah.
You should definitely have stretching
Yeah.
because, of course, we sit down a lot, we keep our muscles contracted, and muscle is an organ of longevity. So if your muscles are healthy, you will be healthy long term. And the last part is, what did I miss? Strength, stamina, stability,
Flexibility.
which is the stretching
And
part.
yoga, I think.
No, I forgot one more thing. Oh, it's not coming to my head.
Meditation.
Perimenopausal. Yes.
We can blame it on that now.
But yeah, basically, you have to have a good strength training. Of course,
Yes,
That's what
yeah.
I started with.
Yeah.
So you have to build strength. So it's basically strength, stamina, stability, and stretching.
Yeah.
That's the four core components of a good workout,
Yeah.
good exercise routine. And you could do it in different ways. It could be going to the gym, it could be going hiking,
Yeah.
it could be
Swimming.
having a yoga
Yes.
practice, it could be
Yeah.
anything, but mix
Yeah.
it up.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
Just like I say about diets, diversity is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't eat repetitive diets. That's where our downfall is, because when we keep eating the same foods, we can build food sensitivities. We can, because again, as estrogen's declining, specifically speaking to perimenopausal women, important is that there are changes in gut. If you don't have a super healthy microbiome, which if you haven't cared about it, if this is the first time you're hearing that word, probably you've never cared about it. Estrogen also makes you more food sensitive. Declining estrogen makes you food sensitive, and plus combine the changes in gut health, our absorption, nutrient absorption declines as we age. People are more bloated, they have more digestive bloat, they have food that you could tolerate really well in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah, now you can.
People can't tolerate anymore.
Yeah.
So hydration. A lot of
Hydration
people don't hydrate enough.
Hydration is super important. Great cue.
They think hydration could be caffeine.
And it's anything but hydration.
Correct.
Absolutely.
But, caffeine
Coconut water
or-
is a great example right there.
But just simple water.
Yeah.
Simple water.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think hydration, making sure that you're getting enough protein every day, every meal.
How much protein do you suggest? Because that's hard for me too. Like, I'm not a meat eater. Not like I have any restrictions, but I don't care for it.
So a lot of that, and again, if you're a vegetarian, there's so many different sources of protein. There's tofu, tempeh, hemp seeds, spirulina. You can just do so many different sources. Lentils. But I think a good suggestion for everybody would be to track it. We often have this mindset that we are eating enough or we are not eating enough. Either way, unless you measure it, you don't know it. So what can be tracked, what can be documented, can be understood or make changes to. So if you feel you don't eat enough protein,
you need
you kind of should document it.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And there are a lot of apps. I mean,
there's so
that
many
can
apps. Fitness
so many
app,
good apps,
chronometers.
apps, which you can like My Fitness app. There's that. I mean, there's so many
The
fitness
chronometer.
apps.
I like chronometer.
You
It's
can
a good
just
one.
put in your
Just-
basic. I mean, if you're not looking for like,
And then do it. It doesn't have to be an obsession. You
No.
can just kind of do it for a good 3 weeks.
Get
Take
a
a
hang
break
of
and
it.
get a hang of it. And most of us, if in a 3-week window, realize what we're eating and how we are eating. So you don't go too far from it typically.
yeah,
3 weeks a good snapshot.
right.
I would also focus on fats, healthy fats. It's been too long that we've been scared of fats, and fats are so important for hormones. Even they're precursors to healthy hormones like
brain
vitamin D,
function,
brain function. Great skin health, hair. Like you can't.
Even carbs.
Yeah.
People are scared of carbs, but
Exactly.
the right carbs don't harm you.
Exactly. And I again
Yeah.
look at nature's carbs, right?
Yeah.
Things that are rich in fiber, loaded in phytonutrients, have a lot of, again, really look at complex carbohydrates like, of course, not your Doritos and your stuff that I saw in walking in.
Well, that's empty calories.
Calories, that's not even. So again, nutrition. So really dial in the nutrition. Just to recap, focus on the protein, the carbohydrates from the nature, and definitely good fats.
Because I feel like in our Indian culture, ghee is a big thing, right? And now in the American mainstream, they are talking about it. And we're like, this has been a part of, and people have been avoiding it, ghee. But it's so good for your brain. And I mean, I love ghee. So.
I know. It definitely is. I love my eggs cooked in ghee.
Yeah, me too.
Moderation.
Including
moderation.
Good, right?
Sometimes we overdo. It's good for you doesn't mean like avocado. They're good fats. But
You can.
Avocado
Absolutely.
Like you said,
diversity.
no repetition.
And
There has to
diversity.
be
Absolutely diversity. Keep a variety going. That I think is absolutely crucial. Even in the fats, just like Sonal said, if you always cook in ghee, get in the avocado oil. If you always cook in avocado oil, get the sesame oil, mustard oil, coconut oil. There's so many natural cooking fats. You truly should try and stay away from all processed cooking oils, vegetable oils, canola oil, safflower oil, all the seed oils. So that's definitely. It's interesting, how everyone's getting more familiar with seed oils. I think 10 years ago, when
we didn't know that. I used canola for the longest because I thought it was better than vegetable, and then the whole thing happened, and I changed now. So I'm like, but I feel better. And I'm a witness to where, thanks to Ruchika, where I realized that food is medicine, and we don't give enough credit to it. I mean, it has helped me over the past year. So
sharing that.
But,
it truly is.
And this is something I was on medicine for like 13 years, and it didn't help me cure anything. It was a band-aid. But with your, guidance, it's actually helped me cure my gut. So, yes.
Thank
So
you for
thank
sharing it.
Yes.
No, thank you for sharing it. But,
Yeah.
but honestly, food is medicine, lifestyle is medicine.
Lifestyle, yes.
Getting
Yeah.
sunshine is medicine, movement is medicine. There are just so many free medicines out there or simple medicines out there that have only side benefits and no
Right.
side
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
I mean, even for stress, like meditation,
That's
breath work,
exactly.
Yeah.
and yoga,
Right.
it's medicine.
Yeah.
It's
It is
honestly
medicine.
Yeah, but I think we are in a culture where it's like, going shopping, that's therapy, right? Retail therapy, instead of just going and taking a walk, which will actually help you calm down instead of those 10 minutes. So I think it's also the culture that we live in, right?
That's
Yeah.
capitalism, right?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Shopping,
that's the
Yeah.
narrative that's been fed to
Fed
us.
to
and it's
Exactly,
kind of-
constantly. So we need to get better
That's why I
information.
joked about. That's what I joked about how to handle PMS. Chocolate or more chocolate. If it doesn't work, get one more bar.
I know, right?
But shopping craves more shopping.
Exactly,
Chocolate tastes more
exactly.
Chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not helping
It's not
anything,
helping.
right?
It doesn't really calm you, relax you. Not as
For
a
10 minutes maybe, it gives you that happy hormone. Yeah, it's very
Feel good.
short-lived. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes. But when you come home and when it dies down, you're back to square one.
And actually, you're worse off. Now you have to somehow make place for that stuff to fit in.
And oh my god, and sometimes it's a guilt.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have bought this. It was an impulse buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly,
So how is diabetes related to perimenopausal stage of life?
So as I just mentioned, I briefly did mention about it. The estrogen keeps us insulin sensitive. So again, just going into the little biochemistry of the body, when we eat something, glucose is released in our bloodstream. The pancreas releases insulin to carry that glucose into our cells. That's
Right.
where it's utilized. But constantly eating a very high glycemic index food, which is loaded with carbohydrates, or not moving your body enough, not having enough movement. There are many reasons why, but also estrogen keeps you more insulin sensitive, meaning that your cells are open to taking in this glucose.
Okay.
What happens is when the cells become insulin resistant, it's like your suitcase when it's super full. When you're going
Yeah.
to India and the suitcase is super full
Yeah.
and you can't fit in that last t-shirt anymore. That's what an insulin resistant cell looks like.
Yeah.
It no longer can take even a little teeny tiny ounce of the glucose.
Yeah.
So we have circulating glucose in the body. We have elevated blood glucose levels, what is commonly known as, which has its own downstream ill effects, like, it changes the viscosity of the blood, so it leads to hypertension. Sugar in the blood is also inflammation causing, so it causes cardiovascular vessel damage. So basically, I'm trying to tell you is that estrogen keeps you insulin sensitive. It allows for the cells to open up to that insulin, but whereas the estrogen is declining and your stress has been elevated for years and you've not eaten a great diet and you've compromised in sleep, never had a practice that was to take away that stress. And the stress can't be taken away. You can just mitigate stress on a daily basis.
Yeah.
If you've never had practices like such, you will start getting to be more pre-diabetic, diabetic. And it slowly creeps on. You're a 5.2 hemoglobin A1C, and the next year when you go for a checkup, you're a 5.4, and you're still told, we'll wait till 5.6 to do something. But basically, watch that trend of that hemoglobin A1C changing and respond to it.
Okay.
Don't wait for it to be a number that's already in the red zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always give this example. It's like your kid's report card. You don't wait for your
Till
kids
it
to
to
be
be
failing
failing.
before
Yeah.
you respond.
Yeah.
If they're a A+ kid and they become A- or a B kid or B-, you respond right away. Like,
Yeah.
wonder what happened, what changed.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So lab work is very similar.
So that's the system, right? Like that's unfortunately the system we are in, where you go in and you wait to fail to get better instead of So that's why we are having this conversation.
Preventative care.
Yeah.
Preventative
Yes.
Don't
care.
realize
People
that.
do.
Yeah.
I'd rather just coming from the fitness background
Yeah.
and seeing what people prefer. A lot of people prefer waiting, like you just
Yeah.
said. And
And it's not even like I think people waiting. It's what has been told to them by the doctors, right? So they are not educated enough or have the knowledge.
or even like I mean, what I mean is that people rather go to a bakery and sit there and have cupcakes and cakes and sugary drinks,
Yeah.
or rather than, and they don't mind spending that money,
Correct.
which is actually not good for them,
Right.
and is harming them.
Yeah.
But they don't want to spend that money on their health.
Yeah.
They'll wait until there is a red flag and when they have to actually see a doctor, and then the doctor. I mean, a lot of people are like that.
No,
Yeah.
it's true, but I definitely have to say that I've been in practice for 10 years. This was my 10th. I finished 10 years of practice actually. So, but one trend that I have seen, one shift that I've seen, that kind of makes me happy and sad at the same time, and I'll tell you why, is that even today, younger and younger people are, number one, wanting to shop better foods.
Oh, good.
They are willing to pay for people like
Yeah.
me, like,
Yeah.
engage with a health coach to upgrade things that are not
Yeah.
optimal in their life at this stage, which is very encouraging to see that the next generation definitely values health, right?
Yeah.
They're not just putting it on the back burner and waiting for their 40s for ill health to happen to take action. So
Yeah.
that's definitely very encouraging to see.
Yeah.
But what somehow makes me sad is that younger and younger people are being diagnosed with health conditions that were kind of reserved for the older population. But that's a lot more people have digestive disorders. Younger people have. I have the youngest person probably at 15 right now. Actually, last year I had somebody at 11 with ulcerative colitis.
No
So
way.
younger and younger people are being diagnosed with serious digestive disorders, anxiety, metabolic disorders like higher blood glucose levels, blood sugar levels. So which is kind of of course saddening, but the desire to take action and taking action, and I have had people, very young adults, college kids, take action and resolve severe digestive disorders, living on campus, cooking for themselves,
Wow, that's hard.
being in a peer which feeds you on pizza and beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
encouraging that people are willing to take action and take ownership for their wellness. And to me, that definitely drives me.
Yeah.
Change in the.
It's good to observe that change.
We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back after the break with this amazing conversation. Welcome back to Chai Time on 103.5 FM. We are having this great conversation with Ruchika and Sonal here about menopause. So what about any lifestyle related tips to follow to thrive in these perimenopausal years?
I think tons of them. And don't wait for perimenopausal years and trouble to start incorporating those lifestyle changes. At every stage, take a stock of how your actions are creating the life you want. Maybe in your 20s you could stay awake till 3 a.m. and you would just fine the next day. But my party ends at 9 p.m. now. If somebody invites me at 9:30 p.m., I'm like, is that on serious note?
No, right?
Yeah, so definitely take a stock of how your actions are kind of impacting the life on a daily basis and be cognizant of it. I think don't wait for these pesky symptoms to linger forever. That's just how we do. We don't watch our body's check engine light. If your car check engine light comes on, within 2 days, most people will respond.
Right.
But if your body has, you're waking up sore, you're feeling stiff, maybe you have bleeding gums, there's a shift, people will avoid it for the longest time, miraculously hoping for it to disappear.
Yes.
That's just the mindset.
Without making any changes.
Without making any changes. But we somehow don't do that to our cars, right?
Yeah. Or a phone.
Or a phone. Oh my God. Oh my God, the phones.
Yes.
Yes. So I think definitely some lifestyle changes as the body is shifting. As I explained, this whole stress concept that the adrenal glands are taking over from taking over the production of estrogen, progesterone from your sex hormones, reproductive hormones. It's time to nurture dial down the stress. And the simplest way to do is, of course, not become a sage on a mountaintop. It's not possible.
Our lifestyle
It's not
is
possible. But instead, what you do is you have a daily practice to bring that stress from being in a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state on a daily basis. I always say this reminder that dial down the stress as often as you brush your teeth. I'm really hoping everyone listening brushes the teeth once a day.
At least once.
At least once a day. I really hope so, right? We have a diverse, educated population here brushing their teeth once a day. So,
Yeah.
so definitely once a day, have something that brings the stress down. Whether it's taking a walk in nature, maybe doing some meditation practice, having a pranayama, deep breathing practice. Whatever that looks like, it could be a guided body scan. It could be anything that brings your stress down. That is not involving multitasking.
Shopping.
It doesn't involve shopping. Doesn't involve eating
Alcohol.
Doesn't
Yeah,
involve
let's get the alcohol
numbing
involved. I don't know.
numbing your feelings.
Right.
Instead, slow down, quieten your mind, and sit still.
Right.
As simply put.
Yeah. And you
Because
can, but see, honestly, it's hard, right?
hard.
It's very hard because, like, our brains in this day and age are constantly running.
on 27 tabs that you don't know where the music is coming from.
I love the way you put it. That is so true, right? But it is so important whether your mind is racing. It is going to race when you are meditating. It is going to race, but that is okay.
That is
just
okay.
take that time.
But I'll
right?
give you a tip that personally worked for me. I tried meditation for many years. I think it wasn't until 2016 that I had this aha moment. And my aha moment was, what really shifted for me was, I tried all of this, the mind thoughts would come, I would put them away, I would sit through it, I had a timer on, all of that. But I created a dedicated, quiet, still space.
Okay.
And that really helped me. So it's a corner in my upstairs guest room where I just literally have a yoga mat and I have nothing else.
Yeah.
I have no association with working in that desk where I work. It's not happening. The same thing happened, and that's why I tell people, don't bring your laptops into your bed, because keep your zones sacred. When your zones are sacred, the minute you're in that zone, you know what you need to, that's an automatic cue. When you sit on the table to eat, if you're eating without a phone, you're not wanting to multitask.
Right.
So I definitely feel having a sacred spot, if you can create one, can be amazing.
Yeah. Also, I feel that it works for me. It's
Yeah.
a warm bath.
Yes.
So you cleanse
Same
yourself.
here. Yeah.
It's just a quick warm bath, and then that would really works for me.
Yeah.
And disconnecting. Not having your phone all the time, because you constantly get notifications. Either you can turn off your notifications, or I also listen to some meditative music that calms me down.
Okay.
Not with the intention of saying that, hey, let's just shut all our thoughts. That never happens. The more you say it,
the more they come.
just let it go.
Yeah.
Just like, you're going to get a million thoughts. Think about it as a car that's like a road, and that cars are just passing, and just like let it go. Let it go. A lot of times, things that are bothering you, also just let it go. And then for me, it helps, like warm baths, sitting quietly, and then listening to something that resonates with personally with me. Like any kind of meditative, just music or any meditation. There's so many meditations.
Yeah.
There's so many apps, YouTube.
And YouTube, you'll get so many people that have this meditative music, or they're taking you through a meditative session,
Right.
so to speak.
Guided body scans or guided meditations are great place to start. For
What are
any,
body scans?
basically, someone's voice is guiding you to focus on your toes, then your ankles, then your shins. You're literally moving your focus in your
Each
body.
part.
And what happens is, because to Sonal's point, right, like millions of thoughts coming out, we can't deal with an empty mind. We have a
Correct.
problem.
Yeah.
But here you're focusing on something
So then
inward.
it-
So it allows you to just kind of...
because that helps you to keep focused, and those thoughts that are coming in your mind all the time, and most of the time they're probably negative thoughts that things happen during the week, during the day. There's some things that
Sometimes
go on.
Or your to-do list. That to-do list never ends.
To-do list.
Yeah,
But
yes.
you just need to carve out that time for yourself.
Yes.
Because your life is never going to stop. No matter
Right.
what, there's always something. There's always some cooking,
Yeah.
cleaning, laundry, if nothing then work.
Right.
Or I have to run here, I have to pick this kid up from here.
Oh.
It's always going to be something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and that I do agree with Ruchika that meditative music or body scans. It's a session that takes you through. Focus on your head, focus on your eyes.
Yeah.
Now focus
Relax
on
your cheeks.
relax
Like
your
how
chin.
often do you relax your cheeks?
Chin, and you don't even
realize it, right? But you're always, I realize it's, for me, it's my stress is right here.
And if that's what it is, then every night make it a practice to just either use a Gausha tool or something
To get
release
it.
it. Release it. Don't let it build up.
Yeah.
The worst approach to managing stress is the binge and purge approach.
Yeah.
People think I'll binge through the week, and on the weekend I'm going to either sleep in or to relax, or when I'll go on a vacation I'll relax. That's the worst approach. That's when the body shuts down. You cannot relax. Make it a daily practice.
Yeah. What do you mean by the body shuts down?
You know what happens is, have you ever noticed that you do, and when you're ready to go on a vacation, when the project ends, either you come down with a cold or something will
that is
hurt in
true.
the body.
That is so true.
So the body gets in a survival mode when you tell that I'm going to rest one day.
Yeah.
So it keeps
Yeah.
accumulating and it keeps
Yeah.
powering you through the stress.
Yeah.
And then when that day comes, when you're ready to relax, it completely just melts.
Yeah, it just shuts, like you said,
Ma-
shuts down.
For people, for
Yeah.
everybody, it'll be different. Either they'll get an intense headache, or they'll feel digestive. They have a trip to take. They'll have digestive issues. They'll suddenly have a cold out of nowhere. They'll be like, all this while that I was stressed, I was just doing fine. Now it's time to relax. Why do I have a cold?
It's so true. It happened to me yesterday because I've been powering through this week, right? Like crazy. I'm like, okay, Sunday is and my husband's out of town, so even more stressful, right? I'm like, Sunday is the only day I'm gonna sleep in, and I wake up with a headache. I'm like, oh, there we are. Right?
And you know, I'm not saying this because
Yeah, but I'm so glad you bring it up because now
it's
we
the
know what's
truth.
happening,
This
right?
is the truth, and that's what I said. Conversations like these allow us to lean into each other's wisdoms, to understand what other people experience. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we just think that it's in our mind, it's in our head. I
Yes.
couldn't be sad out of nowhere. I've been a happy person all my life. I have so
Yeah.
many clients who are in their 50s. They are even hesitating to say that they are kind of depressed because they've been happy people, they've coped with life, they've been resilient, they've gone through ups and downs, and this perimenopausal, menopausal years are...
No, but I've
Taking
realized
them.
with my cycle, like I'm getting more emotional. Like I want to cry, the tears don't come out, but I do. Like it's more emotional now. So it's probably I'm thinking it's one of these stages.
Absolutely. The minute, yeah, absolutely. So I think it's important to be cognizant and start addressing. So lifestyle-wise, while I obviously spoke about the dialing down the stress, we've spoken about strength training. Another important one would be to look at gut health. I know it just sounds very esoteric to say gut health related with the hormones, but while it's important to have a healthy production of hormones, it's important for the body to be able to break it down and bring it into the cells.
Yeah.
And that happens in your gut. So unfortunately, if you've had digestive issues, if you've not taken care of your gut health, if you've used a lot of antibiotics, antibacterial products, if you've always been if you've used birth control, it does destroy the gut microbiome.
Yeah.
So it is important to nurture it from a digestive perspective, because you break down the nutrients better, your skin will look better, your hair will look better, you'll feel stronger from the inside, but also from a hormonal perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but what do you say about alcohol in all this? Like a glass of wine here or a glass,
So I'll tell you the truth. You may not want me again on this show, but I'll still speak the truth. That most women have a harder time dealing with the alcohol as they get in the perimenopausal years.
What, like digesting it, you mean?
They'll either get a headache, or they'll have some sort of symptoms. They'll either feel inflamed, some sort of edema. They'll have hangover. Their digestion might change the next day, but most will not want to attribute it to that occasional drink.
Yeah,
right?
right,
Most will
yeah.
not. But that is the truth. And the reason kind of it starts also happening is that, as I said, everything's working like a symphony in the body. Your reproductive hormones are declining. The adrenals, your stress hormones are kind of taking up that load. Your liver has to do more work of cleaning up, because now you've also lived through years of accumulating toxins. Liver is also what breaks down the alcohol. So everything kind of comes together. You're working from a weaker place to break it down.
Yes, yeah.
Also, we live in a great time today, because if you follow if you follow cutting edge health education, everyone is talking of the ill effects of even that one glass of alcohol.
That's what I've heard that
And
recently.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
alcohol is that one drug that if you don't take it, people are like, you don't drink?
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, that expression.
That
No
is
one says that if you
yeah.
don't do cocaine.
Yeah, but with drink, you're like, why don't you have a glass in your hand? I don't want to drink.
It is a stimulant, right? I mean, and people feel that one glass of wine here and there, whatever it does, like you just said, it's harder to. A lot of people cannot, as you age or
Yeah.
premenopausal,
Yeah,
body
body cannot handle it.
Their body
Yeah.
cannot handle it. Like
Yeah.
I don't drink, but
Yeah.
I cannot even handle it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't have to get under the peer pressure.
Yeah.
Totally.
That I have to drink.
Yeah.
If I go somewhere out, I just say I don't drink.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can give me a glass of water, you can give me anything else, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't drink.
Yeah.
It doesn't agree with my
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
So and I do get headaches.
Yeah.
And not that I ever used to drink so much, but
Yeah.
it's
But
the fact.
yeah.
And kudos to you for recognizing it, because
Yeah.
you know most times we want to never attribute people will add in one magnesium and call me, oh, I was sleepless last night. I said, did you have any alcohol or sugar for dinner? Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Oh no, but that couldn't have caused
Exactly.
no, that one lavender oil or
Yeah,
that one
that's what
magnesium must be it.
No, and that
Yeah.
the people don't understand.
God.
It actually does increase your stress levels.
Yes.
It really
And
does.
yeah, because
Oh.
I mean that's not good for you.
Yeah.
And it's a false sense. It's a
So
false
like
sense
it
of
numbs
stimulation.
you.
It does numb you. You know, for different
you
people, it does. It makes them happier. They feel, but it's just so
It's a
short
high,
lived.
but it's a very short-lived high.
Yeah.
The repercussions are worse.
The only way
Yeah.
I like to put it is one drug that we have normalized the use of it, and we almost condemn or belittle the people who are not willing to
Yeah.
consume it.
Right.
Almost, right? Like
Yeah.
we almost isolate them, like, oh my God, they don't drink.
Yeah.
She doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Like it's shocking.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Now you're
makes
an
us too.
outcast. You're like, not
us
a
too. I think, yeah, definitely going back to the gut health part, I think it's extremely crucial. As for an aging body, aging machinery, it is important to really kind of focus on different systems and honor that the body has changed. You know what you could do in your 20s
I think
and 30s.
accepting it, yes, it's the most
Also having the
important.
right support system is also important. Like even friend circles. I
Yeah.
feel that having the right friend circle, I mean, all this is great, but people generally
Yeah.
fall back on family, friends, and
Yeah.
then
It
that's
is
where
true. Yes.
everything else.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
And we are a sum of people that we hang around with. Right?
Absolutely.
Like we are
Whether we
influenced.
want to
Yeah.
accept it or not, but that is very
That is
true.
so true.
Yeah.
You know, how
Yeah.
you holiday, how you eat out, it'll be all determined by
Yeah.
the people that you hang
And
around with.
sometimes it's important to have people that are around you, a right friend circle, people who support you, and people in the right way, not like
Yeah.
drinking.
Right.
It's like if you're out with women who always drink.
Yeah,
at
then
2:00.
yeah.
Then you're always gonna, no matter what,
Yeah.
you're gonna drink
Yeah.
because you want to be a part of that group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a part of a group that loves fitness, eats
Absolutely.
right,
Yeah,
you
then that's gonna
automatically start thinking,
Yeah.
like, hey, no, I need to do this.
Yeah.
This is good for me. Which
Right.
is really good for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And
So
Sonal brings up a
encouragement.
great point that, you know, what often happens is that what is common starts seeming normal.
Yeah.
And I want to repeat this. What is common seems normal. So
Correct.
that means if you're seeing people who are always buying, spending money in a certain way, which is probably not health promoting, if that's common, that will start seeming normal to you.
Yeah.
If the kids always say drive-through is where food comes from, that will become their normal.
Correct.
If you start seeing people who are always in ill health, by the time they're in their 40s, they're already thinking, oh my God, this hurts, that hurts, I can't do this, I'm aging. That'll become your narrative.
Yeah.
So that's where we own the power.
Yeah.
Change your common,
Yeah.
so you change your normal.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah,
Ruchika.
because and also time management. A lot of us are not able to do things because we don't manage our time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they say there is no time.
There's
Right.
Okay, no, there is time.
Yeah.
Do you know where there's time?
Where?
On the phone.
Yeah.
Check your screen. If someone tells me they don't have time to cook or they don't have time to go to bed in time, I'm like, can you send me a screenshot of your phone time, screen
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
My clients don't. No one wants to do
Wants
it because
to.
I know it's a mirror, right? I'm
Yeah.
saying what I'm. Yeah.
And that's I love that about Ruchika. in the right places at the right time, because you need the tough love, because you need it. Because I'm a witness, have gone through this journey, and you are in such a down low that when you give the tough love, if you're ready to accept it, you're gonna make wonderful changes. And you have to look at the mirror and accept it that it's wrong, and get what can you change, right?
And I always say that I'm not a coach for people who only want to tell me what's not going right. I will listen to you, what's not going right. But at the end, I will also guide you with some action steps to move away from that stuck place. And you will have to be wanting to take that action.
I think that's the big part.
And if you're not, I'm not the right coach for you.
Correct.
I always say this to people. I'm not going to be able to guide you.
Yeah.
I'm not for you. I mean, you'll waste your time and I'll waste mine.
It's like you can take the horse to the water. You can't ride it, right?
Exactly.
You can have this conversation with anybody all day long, but at the end of the day, if they come back with you, I just cannot get up in the morning. I just cannot do this workout.
And there is
and then cooking, right? And you encourage me, because you're like, for me, I'm like, I don't have the time. And that's a narrative, right? Like we've been telling her, and it is true to an extent, but if you want to do something, you can definitely make the time. And what's more important than your health for your family, right?
If you do meal prep once a week,
exactly.
It's very doable.
And there's so many strategies to make it work. There's like one diet plan. There's no one strategy. There's so many different strategies. If you're not a morning person, as some people call themselves, I'm not that sarcastic usually.
But getting up early in the morning is actually good for you.
If that's how you fed yourself, and that's okay. Go exercise in the evening. Go take a midday break. Find time in the evening. There's always time. The easiest way to make time is to get your phone on airplane mode, number one. Number two, check your screen time. If it is over 2 hours a day, 2 hours is a lot.
It's a lot.
There's a problem. There's a problem. But some people have 8-9 hours a day.
Oh my God.
8-9 hours a day.
Wow.
So you just have to kind of be careful where time is going and what is important to you at the end. That's why you will. You'll nurture what's important to you.
What's your real.
Because I feel like medicines can help, but they are a band-aid. And I've learned that through my journey. They're definitely not
chronic
fixed.
conditions, definitely, but if you have a broken bone, you will go to a doctor, get it fixed. There's a time and place.
Yes, exactly.
But if there's a chronic condition, and again, I'm hearing this, I don't know how we have time.
We have 5 minutes.
I'm hearing this a lot from people that my doctor never said so, no one tells me. And I'm sorry they did, but also to give them the doctors they do, they went to school, they went to medical school, but they're not taught nutrition and lifestyle.
Exactly.
It's not part of their education. It's like you going to a hairdresser and say, hey, listen, you cut my hair really well. I have this dress. Can you cut this for me? Hairdresser's going to I can't cut this for you. Because
I'm not an expert.
I'm not an expert. But you'll be like, no, but you know how to use scissors and you cut my hair.
That's an amazing example. So they're doing their job.
They are doing what they're trained in. And then there's people like Sonal, like me, there are many different people in that interim phase who work on food and lifestyle as medicine. Reach out.
Like you said, it's a symphony, right?
It's a symphony.
Different parts.
Just like your kids go to school, it doesn't mean you never hire tutoring services or you never send them for an art class. You always have a support system.
Right, same thing.
And that's what your support system is.
And also delegation, I feel, when we say time management, see what's realistic, what you can do, what prioritize, what's important, delegate stuff that is not that important because you're one human being. And no matter what, you can't do every single thing. So but you can't say, I'm going to do those tasks too, and what's important to my life and what really matters, I'm going to ignore that just because I have other things that can wait or can be delegated, and say house cleaning, hire a maid, maybe once a month,
and put that in
once every
something
other,
else,
depending on your lifestyle, your resources, whatever, but that you can outsource. But
absolutely.
But instead, take care of your health. Cook something healthy, or go to the gym. Or do something for yourself. If nothing else, like do mindfulness. Sit down and meditate.
Absolutely.
And if money is a constraint, budget is a constraint, get your whole family to get involved in the cleaning up. Who says that certain things are only a woman's job? But I think it's also, as women, we need to learn how to say no and make it a complete sentence.
Yeah. Also, I mean, as your kids grow up,
Without feeling the need to.
Without feeling the need to justify. Yes, yes.
Also, I mean, as your kids grow up, you can tell them how to be civil and clean up their rooms and keep it neat and tidy, do their own laundries.
Yeah.
I mean, they're simple tasks, but it goes a long way.
Yeah, I should ask you this question. So yesterday, everyone's traveling in my family. So my friend of mine asked me for dinner tonight, and I said, I can't do dinner Monday night. I have to bathe my dog. So she said, what has that got to do with it? I said, well, that's my real reason. Now you're wanting me to make up a reason why I can't come for dinner. So basically, she's a good friend of mine. So if she's listening, she'll kind of get it. But the point is that true reasons should be a complete no. Like, just because you're free doesn't mean you're available. And say that to yourself. Just because fitness is one place we like to take our time off from. Cooking is one place. Oh yeah, I'll just get some food from outside. That's how I'll make an extra hour in my day.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, bathing my dog.
This was such an amazing conversation, and I love to have you ladies on the show. There's so much wisdom, but like it's for every day, right? Like what little changes can we make? So I'm so thankful and grateful for y'all to be on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we had some good laughs.
Yes, that's the best part about it, right? Thank you so much to our listeners. We'll see you next Monday, same time, same place. Bye-bye.